What is going on, Thumb Thumbs? This is SunBrother2 bringing you guys our first team prep video for the LDL, the Lonely Draft League Season 6. Now, as you guys can see and as you guys can hear, I am extremely sick right now. I don't know what's going on, which sucks because I actually have school starting tomorrow, but we're gonna try and make it through this video. Hopefully everything goes all right. You know, I can actually breathe and talk, so if I have to cut my mic off every now and then, please forgive me. I hope you guys do understand. But this week, for week 1, we are going to be facing off against Matt and the Winnipeg Jellicent, who actually ended up taking the championship last season after beating us in the quarterfinals. He ended up making it all the way to the finals, so congrats to him. But you know, it's a new season, it's a new day, and new teams, and Matt has a very scary team going into this. I am not gonna lie, guys, I'm actually extremely scared in regards to his team. So as you guys do see, that his team is right below me. We're just gonna quickly go over each and every mon, what they can and can't, what they could possibly do, and then we'll go over my team and what I'm bringing and what do I expect him to bring and stuff like that. So first off, as you guys do see, he has his first pick was Jirachi. Jirachi is a very powerful mon, base 100 across the board. It can be run offensive, defensive, on the physical and special side. It can be a stealth rock setter, U-turner, scarfer, and Matt can also be that guy and go for the flinches if he really wants to with that Serene Grace ability, I believe doubling the percentage chance for secondary effects to activate. So it's something very tricky to get around, and we got to make sure that if he does bring Jirachi, which I believe he will, that we figure out what Jirachi it is right away, because the better we know, the better we can work around it. Next up, he has Lucario. Lucario, another steel type, but getting a major boost this season with Ultra Sun and Moon move tutors, getting access to Meteor Mash, which is definitely the move it's been looking for. But Lucario scares me so much, especially because of our Mega Aggron and we have a very big weakness to Lucario, and if he sets up either a Swords Dance or a Nasty Plot, it's just gonna be very scary. He gets access to Extreme Speed and Aura Sphere. I mean, not Aura Sphere, is Vacuum Wave, so it gets priority on both sides, physical and special. So it's definitely a scary mon, and if he brings it, I'm gonna be nervous. Hopefully I did plan well enough around it to handle it, but we'll just have to see. Arcanine is another Pokemon that he does have very powerful fire type. Usually I've run more Intimidate style with some offensive prowess, but it can be run especially bulky with maybe Assault Vest with it, with Wild Charge, Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, maybe Close Combat. So definitely extremely scary. Sometimes it can be run like Morning Sunset if it's defensive. But once again, I think we have the right Pokemon to handle it. And so I'm not too worried about it, but now watch me get swept by my favorite Pokemon. Next up is Crobat. Crobat, I don't see coming. Well, the only reason I might see it coming, actually, it's like a 50-50. Crobat could come because of our Jolteon and the speed ties that it could have, it being scarfed if it wants to be, if Matt wants to be that way, or it could be, or just with all the things I do have to handle it, it won't come. But the thing is, with Crobat, I'm nervous if it does come because it can use Super Fang or Hyper Fang. I can't remember which one it is. That lowers our HP to 50% of our current HP. There's that, or even a Nasty Plot set. I think Nasty Plot or Nasty Bat is going to be very scary if Matt does bring it, because I don't believe I have a lot of things to handle it, as you guys will see once we do hop into our team. Moving on, though, we have Araquanid. Araquanid, really interesting Pokemon. It got access to Sticky Webs this generation, or at least this game, with Ultra Sun and Moon. Very powerful. It can be run Adamant Banded with Liquidation, which hits really hard for a lot of our Pokemon. But its speed is less to be desired, and so I feel like that if Matt does bring it, we can easily work our way around it, unless he does bring Sticky Webs, which can be troublesome. Next up is Audino. Audino is very weird. I think it's like a Heal Bell Cleric user, but it can be extremely bulky, which is kind of scary. And so if he, I don't know. Just I don't really know too much of what Auto can do outside of that. Maybe Toxic Stall if he really wants to. It does get Regenerator, I know that much. So definitely an interesting choice if he does choose to bring it. Now, Mega Altaria. Mega Altaria's I don't feel matches up really nicely with our Mega Aggron. But at the same time, I feel like if Matt does get 2 Dragon Dances up, he can potentially sweep us. So it's something very scary. Going into this match. Also, if he decides to bring a Cotton Guard set, we could be in a lot of trouble, as well as maybe a especially attacking Mega Altaria instead of a physically attacking. It could be somewhat problematic, but I really don't see that. The Cotton Guard set I kind of do see more so than not, but if so, I feel like we have the right stuff to handle it. Moving on, we have Rotom Cut. Rotom Cut's very interesting because it does get access to Defog now, as do all the Rotoms, but Leaf Storm is a very powerful grass move. But it does drop its special attack by 2 stages: Volt Switch, Trick, Will-O-Wisp, Thunderbolt. There's a lot of things that this Rotom can do, in the sense that it could be defensive, it could be all-out attacking, it could be Specs, it could be Scarfed. It's super scary, and if it does bring Will-O-Wisp, it's something we really do have to worry about. Just because, you know, it can cripple things like Mega Aggron very quickly, and stuff like that. Mamoswine is another big scary threat. I told Matt to draft this thing. I'm not gonna lie. When Matt and I were talking about who do we get next, what do you think of this and that, I'm like, Matt, Mamoswine is sitting right there. You need to grab Mamoswine because it's gonna be a powerhouse. And I didn't realize I was facing him week 1, so there's that. Mamoswine is so extremely scary. It's so extremely scary. It can be Thick Fat. It can be Snow Cloak. I think it has one more ability that I can't remember, but Mamoswine is just scary. It can be Stealth Rock Setter, it can be Assault Vest, it can be Scarfed, it can be Banded, Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Earthquake, Knockoff even. This is a very scary mon, and having both dual Ice and Ground Stab is very powerful, as our team really can't handle that too well. And so if Matt does decide to bring it, I did plan around him bringing Mamoswine, and if he doesn't, I will be super relieved, and if not, you know, all the better for us. Moving on is Umbreon. Not too much to say about Umbreon. It's very especially bulky, which is how it's usually run. Synchronize is going to be very problematic if we do want to Toxic it, which you guys will see. I did bring Toxic this week to handle a lot of things, but Heal Bell, Foul Play is very interesting for us, which I did try and prep for. Baton Passing as well. And yeah, I feel like at some point that if he brings it, it's going to be especially bulky to handle some of our threats, but if, like our Jolteon, but if that's the case, then some of our physical attackers will be able to handle it extremely well, so I'm happy about that. And then finally, last but not least, is Hoopa. Hoopa is a very interesting Pokemon, as I feel like it can be problematic. However, if Matt wants to do anything with it, it has to be Scarfed. Just because its speed tier I think is only like base 70, and so if he does decide to bring it, I can guarantee you it's going to be Scarf. One thing I also forgot to see, let me go, you guys, I'm going to change the screen really quick because I totally forgot. Matt does have the Ground DMZ. Ground DMZ definitely bulks up the power of that Mamoswine, something to really look out for. Other things that could potentially use it, I believe, are Jirachi that can get Earthquake, and maybe Lucario. I don't know what other mons get a ground type move besides those 3, in case I'm just like totally spacing on some, but if he does decide to bring the Ground DMZ on Mamoswine, it's going to be super scary, because that thing will just hurt everything on our team. But you know, at the end of the day, something I'm realizing with Matt's team is he has a lot of physical attackers, disregarding maybe Nasty Bat, Special Mega Altaria, Rotom Cut, and maybe Hoopa, so a good chunk of his team is physically attacking, and so I feel like we can really use that to our advantage, and and I brought a lot of physical bulk this week, as you guys will see. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our team builder. First off, starting off everything, we have Hiduzin, our Infernape, bringing in a Choice Scarf variant. I looked at this and I'm just like, gosh, Infernape really does handle his team quite well. And so we So we're rocking the Jolly Nature to guarantee to outspeed Jirachi, which I think is his second fastest mon besides the Crobat, which is really, really nice. So if he decides to bring a Scarf Jirachi, we will be able to outspeed it. Flare Blitz is there, of course, for Jirachi, Lucario, Rotom Cut, U-Turn, of course, just to get some initiative if we want to. Gunk Shot is definitely always there for the Mega Altaria. We can guarantee to outspeed it at +1 Dragon Dance. And then Close Combat for mostly everything else, mainly for that Mamoswine and the Jirachi, so I don't have to Flare Blitz. I think, pardon me, if he does bring the Jirachi and it's like a more attack, if it's a more non-defensive set, we can two-shot it with Close Combat, which is really, really nice. Other than that, yeah, at 252 attack, I just threw the rest in HP just to guarantee, you know, maybe we could live a hit or two somewhere along the line. And so, yeah, there's that. Moving on now, I did choose to leave it Blaze instead of Iron Fist just because I didn't see the point of having Iron Fist. But, you know, at the same time, Blaze, as many people will probably know from TLTPG and LDL, that Blaze Infernape can ruin lives. It honestly can ruin lives, so if we get a Flare Blitz off and we're in the red, Blaze will come in handy, that's for sure. But moving on now, we are going to be bringing our Mega Aggron Palladium here. I did mention this in our recap that you guys will see, that I hope you guys did watch, that Palladium has such high defense that you don't really need to do anything to his defense, but looking at Lucario and some of his other physical attacking threats like Arcanine and stuff, I figured that, you know, it wasn't worth putting his stats into special defense, so we went with an Adamant natured set and put 252 HP, 252 defense just to guarantee that we live some hits, especially from that Lucario. Like Close Combat, it does a whole lot, and I think even if he gets a Swords Dance up, I think it might be able to one-shot us if he gets a lucky roll. However, I can't recall correctly right now because, like I said, I'm sick, I can't think straight, but Heavy Slam and Earthquake are really the two main moves that we do need on this thing. I was debating putting on Roar on this or Stealth Rocks, but I figured that, you know, the only thing that really stands in my way here is going to be the Rotom Rotom Cut, and if he does decide to bring that, you know, I don't really have much to handle it, and so I threw Fire Punch on there just to be just have that precaution there. Earthquake hits Jirachi, Lucario, Arcanine, hits the Araquanid quite heavily as well. It does a decent amount to Umbreon and Hoopa, but Heavy Slam, of course, is there for mostly everything else. Omega Altaria, mainly the Mamoswine, I think gets almost one shot unless it's a defensive build, so it's going to be really, really nice. Toxic is on there, of course. If Matt does decide to, like, try and set up with Mega Altaria, I can send in this and I can get a Toxic off on it, or if he wants to switch into something else to handle it, then so be it, we can do that as well. But I like this, and also having Toxic on Mega Aggron helps us with the Umbreon. Say he does decide to bring Umbreon, we can go ahead and Toxic it, and the Synchronize will not poison this because we are in a full-blown Steel type. So there's that. I really like this set. I can't wait to use it. I just got to remember that I am slow as all hell with it, and I won't be outspeeding anything anytime soon. But now moving on, we have our Jolteon. Jack is here. Now, I debated with this set. I was like, well, do I make him choice Scarf? Do I make him choice Specs? And, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like if Matt did bring Crobat, I don't think he would bring it Scarf just to handle the Jolteon. And once I saw some of the Specs damage going off, I could not bring Specs. So we're bringing Timid 252, just in case, a speed and special attack, just in case he does decide to bring a, let's say, Jolly or Timid Crobat. We will speed tie, and so it's going to be very, very tricky there to see if we do live it, or if we do speed tie with them. Volt Absorb, of course, to stop that. Rotom Cut, it really can't do anything to us, I feel. So it's going to be really, really nice. I have Thunderbolt on there just for general spread. Hidden Power Ice, mainly for the, mainly for the, I think, the Mamoswine, just because it does a decent amount of damage. But Shadow Ball is there just because it hits a little bit harder on the Rachi and the Hoopa than Thunderbolt does, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's just almost a general Jolteon set there. Volt Switch is there, of course, just for initiative. It's going to be interesting to see if he does bring Mamoswine. I will have to play around that, maybe go for another move instead of locking myself into Shadow Ball or like Volt Switch, and he sends it in and stuff. So I like it though, because Jack's going to be really, really powerful just as well, unless he does bring that Audino and that Umbreon. Well, like I said, I feel like we have the right stuff to handle both of those things. Coming up next, we do have our second bulky wall. We have the Slowbro, and I realize now that I need to change an item here. On my team, it's perfect the way it is here, but I'm realizing that when it was sent over, that I was sent leftovers on it instead of Rocky Helmet. But Rocky Helmet's there just because of all of his physical attackers. Bruh can really start doing damage back, which is super, super nice. I really like that. Regenerator, of course, to get that 30% health back. We're 252 HP, 252 defense, bold nature. Just another fully physically wall just because he doesn't have the special walls. And anything that Slowbro can't handle, Aggron can handle, and vice versa, especially with the Lucario going for close combats on it. I can easily switch this thing in. We can eat up hits all day. I can go for a Scald Psychic against a lot of things here, do a lot of damage. Shadow Ball is there once again for the Jirachi and Hoopa, just because I really don't have a lot of things to handle it, and Slack Off is there just on the off chance I do get the opportunity to heal up. Regenerate it. I opted for leftovers. I mean, Rocky Helmet over leftovers once again, just because I do have Regenerator and Slack Off, and so I felt like having a third way to regain health was just like overdoing it. I'm still debating that though. Like I might keep the Rocky Helmet, I might not, just depending. I'll think it over. But it's really, really nice. I like this set. It's just another wall that can help us where Mega Aggron can't. And hopefully Bro will be able to put in the most work. Now, coming up next, a very, very crucial mod for this team for this week is going to be Liability, our Crocodile, which is holding the leftovers with Intimidate, just to lower the attack of things like that can be problematic, like the Lucario, the Crobat, the Mamoswine for sure. The Mamoswine's this is going to be really, really difficult, but having this Intimidate with Liability will be really, really nice. Knockoff, of course, just for general stab, alongside Earthquake. Earthquake really handles a lot of things. Superpower is there for the Mamoswine primarily, generally, if I can catch the right switch in or something, or something of that nature. I put 212 in the speed to guarantee to outspeed, I believe, a max speed Rotom Cut, which is really, really nice. So I just threw the rest into HP, of course. Stealth Rock is very, very important in this match as well. I would like to add, just because in some calcs when it comes to our Jirachi, not our Jirachi, our Infernape, our Mega Aggron, and our Jolteon, like the calcs are very, very close, and if it's like, if I have Stealth Rock to take away some more damage, I'm guaranteed the knockout right then and there. And that's why I'm debating over Rocky Helmet as well on this thing, just because that little extra damage will definitely be beneficial for us. But that's a Liability. I can't wait. I hope it puts in the most work. I hope it's able to help us out. The one thing I do have to worry about, though, is if he does bring a Justified Lucario, we won't be able to get off knockoffs as much as we'd like, but, you know, all in due time. All in due time. And finally, last but not least, a very, very shocking member that I wanted to bring this week, just to kind of start the season off with a bang, with something fun. We are going to be bringing Spearmint, our Scyther, holding the Eviolite Technician ability. Very, very interesting set this week. I'm bringing a Swords Dance set, but I barely have any attack investment. I'm Jolly Natured, once again, to guarantee to outspeed the Jirachi by 1 point. 220 in speed, 252 in HP, just to make sure we are a little bit more bulky. Even with the Eviolite, you know, we don't have the best we're still very susceptible to rocks, flying, fire, you know, a lot of different things being bug flying type. Being 50% weak to rocks, which is going to be very, very very, very bad. But I have Sword Stance on there because after a +2, disregarding the Crobat, Spearmint can put in a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. We have Aerial Ace for the Lucario, for the Araquanid, for the Rotom Cut, for the Hoopa as well. I think it can one-shot after a little bit of Rocks damage and a Sword Stance. Then we have Bug Bite for everything else, that being the Rachi, the Araquanid, the Audino, even the Mega Altaria I don't think can take 2 hits. The Mamoswine I think is the Mamoswine and the Crobat I think are the only things that can't handle, that can take on Spearmint one-on-one. The Umbreon can't even take 2 Bug Bite, so that's really, really cool. I was debating whether or not I should put U-Turn on there or something, but no, these 2 moves are going to be awesome. They're both Technician boosted. Roost is on there, of course, just to get back some health if we can use it, but if we can pull off a sweep with Scyther, I'm going to be extremely, extremely happy. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but we're just going to try our best, you know. A lot of the coaches like to, talk trash, but at the end of the day, I'm here just to have fun. Of course I want to win. Of course I want to go to the championships. But if we don't and we have a good match along the way, or good matches, or a good season along the way, and it's just because my opponent outplayed me and there wasn't any misclicks, or just, or what is it, like I miss an accuracy move, or he misses an accuracy move, that's going to be awesome, because that's just what I like. I just like a full-on match just to test the abilities of one trainer against another. So if I win, okay, that's awesome. If I lose, well, okay, I'll be mad for a second, but I'm okay. But that's going to be our team, guys. I'm going to wish the best to Matt, because, we're the best of friends, and I do consider him a good rival, and the fact that, he's now won a championship just goes to show how strong of an opponent he is. But that's going to end it here from me, you guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. I do actually have to face Matt right after this, so hopefully, as I'm hacking up a lung, I don't get swept by something. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are new here and you want to learn more about the LDL, I'll be sure to put the link to the document, our website down below and stuff like that, as well as go check out Matt. Matt's really cool, and he's, it's really, really cool. So I'll be sure to include all that down in the description below, but I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Sunbrother2, and I'll see you in the next video.